You are listening to a podcast by Last Minute Crack with your host, me, Christina Hamilton. Last Minute Crack is your one-stop shop for all things arts and culture in Dublin City. For more information, check out our website at lastminutecrack.com or visit us on Instagram at lastminutecrack. A special thank you to Thibaut Kemoret for his help with the sound and for the music on this intro. Another thank you goes out to Zoe Spillane for her help managing the page. And now for your episode. Awesome. Okay, cool. Hello, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning listeners who are just so nice for tuning in. How are you? My name is Christina, and we have a beautiful guest here on the podcast today. Tommy, hello.
How's it going?
It's so nice to meet you.
You too.
This is an interesting one for me a little bit because I haven't really known you for a little while.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to know you for the first time on the podcast, which is so exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you have like a way of like rocking and rolling, like this is me, who I am, or?
Oh, like an elevator pitch?
Yeah. Oh, I'd love one of those.
No.
Let's go. We're pure business over here at Last Minute Chats.
Yeah. No, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm from Dublin. I make indie-ish kind of music, and been doing that for years. And yeah.
So
this is me.
That's him. Congratulations, everybody. That's the podcast. Thank you for listening. So listen, let's start with the beginning, I guess. So how did you start getting into music? Is that something that you've been in like all your life, or is it a new hobby?
Yeah, it wasn't really like I wasn't kind of one of those kids that was always playing and in bands and stuff. I got kind of started learning to play the guitar when I was like maybe 15. And yeah, it just kind of coincided that I was started getting really into it and starting to try and write songs and stuff like that just around about the time I was going to be finishing secondary school and figuring out what I was going to do next. So I applied to go to BIM. So I ended up doing a 4-year degree there. So it was just, I kind of put together my first band there, and yeah, I've just been doing music stuff ever since.
Okay. Yeah. And so you describe yourself as indie-ish.
Yeah. Like it's I would say on the spectrum of I don't know, Sufjan Stevens to Beck to Mac DeMarco maybe. It's kind of a bit of a slacker kind of flavor to it.
Okay.
Other people have said that. Like I'm very bad at saying the right names for genres, I think.
Well, tell me how you feel about like the music that you make. Like, you don't have to subscribe to a genre.
Yeah, no, I think it's it's quite I guess I came from kind of a lyrical place with writing songs. So like they're quite the lyrics are important, a key part. They tend to be a little bit impressionistic at times. Like it's not always the most direct thing. Although I feel like that's something I did more of at one stage, and I think the songs that I'm doing now have become a little bit more direct, and a little bit more like emotion or impulse driven. And then it's just it's what textures you kind of coat that all with that makes any given song become interesting and like take flight. So I mean, I don't think I often make any two songs that are the same or like incredibly similar. They tend to like shoot around a little bit in terms of like, oh, this one's gonna have like an 808 bass and a Lindrum 80s drum machine and some keys and a lot of times some acoustic guitar and like harmony vocals and stuff like that. And then the next song is just going to be, I don't know, like an acoustic guitar and a mellotron.
You're still playing in the space.
Yeah. And like I mean I got into really home recording and production and stuff over the last few years.
Are you one of those people who took it up during COVID?
Well, it was leading up to, so like I had actually had a band for like 5 or 6 years, and so I never really had to like write my own bass lines or like, you know, play everything on a record. And then that broke up, so I started spending time just kind of learning to use Logic and the software application,
not the brain stuff.
Yeah, Logic. There's another one called Reason, isn't there? That's good. Logic and Reason. I don't use Reason. And just kind of figuring out how to layer up stuff and put songs together. And I literally had my first single as Tommy Cullen, you know, ready to go, and it released on the 28th of February 2020.
Okay.
So like that was like COVID's bedrock, I guess, in this country.
Yeah.
So then it was just like, okay, well, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future, I'm just gonna be making songs in my house and releasing them. Because what else am I gonna do?
Talk to me about that first release. Like, I'm always interested in when musicians start off, right, and you release a piece of music. You've obviously put so much of your heart and soul into it, but you're probably still like a baby musician at the time, so you might not have the audience that you probably have now. So how was that received?
It was funny, for some reason that first song, like it's my most streamed song by like a factor of 4 or 5, I would say. It's got like over 100,000 streams on Spotify.
Incredible.
Like, it just went for some reason, and it's really short. It's like less than 2 minutes long, that song. So I think people maybe just
or something.
I think people maybe are inclined to repeat it. Like to listen to it twice in a row,
I
because
get
it's
that.
so, you know,
because you want to catch that little hook like again and again.
So yeah, I mean it's a nice little song, I guess, but yeah, it just sort of seemed to catch on in a weird way. I had a lot of people in like India and stuff listening to it. I got asked that time to play a festival in India, but that never happened because I couldn't travel and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that was kind of odd in its way. It was nice.
That's really cool. Really cool. So talk to me about, like, I'm always interested because that's another thing I need on a t-shirt. Write that down. I'm always interested because I'm like, you know, when we record a podcast, you start to realize what your catchphrase sayings are.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm starting to think of. But like, do you have a musical family? Is that something? Because oops, sorry. I'll just adjust. Ooh.
Oh, I forgive you.
Sorry. All right, we good? Cool. We're doing new mics today, guys. So comment below if you like them, and comment below that Thibaut's hard work is really appreciated. So yeah, do you have a musical family?
Yeah. So like, it wasn't something that I grew up with too much, but my mum is really musical. She's a really great singer. She's an actor, kind of primarily, but she like grew up doing like singing lessons and all kinds of stuff.
She's an all-rounder.
Yeah, her family was like extremely musical. I didn't always know all of her family too well, like her siblings and stuff, and her dad was an actor and musician as well. He released an LP. I have like a copy of my granddad's records.
That's so cool.
I never knew the man very well. Like, he died when I was 5 or something. You know, I met him a couple of times, but yeah, I do listen to his album sometimes, which is quite
incredible.
Fun. Yeah. So yeah, and then my mum is, like, I recently had her sing on one of my songs, and I put up some like clips of us, you know, together with the song, and people really enjoyed that.
It's a beautiful. If you go to his Instagram at Tommy Cullen Music, you go check that out. It's one of the most heartwarming videos I've ever seen. It's just so pure joy. Do you know who you remind me a lot of? Rachel Grace. Have you heard of Rachel Grace?
No,
she's a Wexford musician. She's amazing. Shout out Rachel Grace. But she does a lot of stuff with her dad. So I feel like it needs to be like a weird music crossover. We bring our moms and dads to things so they can appreciate them. It's like, look how cool our moms and dads are, and they love our music, like convention or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. That's definitely a thing. Like, my folks were always incredible. Like, they've come to most of the gigs I've ever played.
That's
you
lovely.
know, they are always there and incredibly supportive and stuff. So yeah, that was really fun to get, you know, for my mum to get a bit of love.
Yeah. You said she's an actress?
Yeah. It's more so back in the day. She was doing that. like throughout my childhood and before. She works actually as a humanist celebrant these days.
Cool.
Yeah, but
It must be so nice for her to see you like. I don't know if she's a theater actress or a stage, like, you know, but it must be so nice for her to see you up in the lights.
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Yeah, she was a lot of theater stuff back in the day. Actually, more recently, only a couple of acting things she's done. She's been in a couple of music videos.
What?
She was in a Fontaines music video
Shut up.
With Aidan Cullen.
No way.
Yeah, for the a hero's, what's it called, A Hero's Death?
Can you call her and tell her to come on?
Yeah. we cancel me and we can bring on
Tommy's mom.
Yeah, so she's been in a couple of things like that over the last while as well. But yeah, no, she's great. And it was really fun. Like, everybody seemed to just love those clips of me and her. And so then I got her on. I do like a live stream on Instagram every Thursday. Mm-hmm. So I had her on and we did one together and just sang a lot of songs together. And it was really good. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love to have, like, when you have somebody that's supporting you so, you know, so strongly and so, I can't remember the word because it's a Sunday morning, but I guess without borders to it.
Yeah.
You know, that's something for musicians, for artists, is so, like, money can't buy you that, you know. You can buy all the logics and reasons and everything, but you know, having somebody who's going to support you unequivocally, I think is the word.
Nice.
That's so important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's cool. It's something that I kind of feel I'm trying to pay forward, even just with the songs I'm making and how I'm doing them. I feel like, you know, there's that thing of, it's generally maybe easier to write a sad song than a happy song. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, the stuff that I'm working on now, I think has a nice warmth and positivity to it that I'm starting to think maybe that's what I can kind of bring to the table and to the world, because I've got a really great family. I've got an amazing, you know, partner of like 12 years, and, you know, everything's not too doom and gloom for me. Like, sometimes obviously it's, you know, highs and lows, and I think that comes through in whatever you make as a, you know, if you're making anything. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think the songs I'm making now, I'm really enjoying making songs that are kind of happy, or at least have a nice positivity about them, you know?
Absolutely. Well, music can influence your mood. So, I mean, in an opposite way, sometimes when I need to have a little cry, I'll throw on, I have a playlist specifically for crying.
100%.
But, like, it's so important to have those lights in the dark, you know? Yeah. Especially if I've gotten really into disco and like old 80s hits, because they bring me such incredible joy. Yeah. Actually, let's talk about, so let's say out there, like myself, we're new to you as a person. Like, what can people expect from you as an artist? Like, you know, well, in general. So you say you have, like, you know, you engage with your community on Thursdays, and then let's talk about your music. Like, how do we interact with you as an artist in person?
How, like, do you mean, like, specific, like, materially, like, specifically, like, how do you interact, or what's an interaction
like,
be like?
I like, in my head, right? Maybe I should be more specific, but in my head, right? I am myself. Rock up to your page. I'm like, this is a person I'm really interested in. Like, this kind of, I've heard some of his songs or something. Like, what can people from day one, like, when they listen to Tommy, what are they expecting to? What do you expect them to hear? What are you hoping them to feel?
I think it's, you know, a lot, like, there is a sort of definitely a warmth, I think, to the songs. They tend to be, you know, I find that hopefully I'm coming from a very genuine place. And I guess what I was trying to get at before is, like, if I, like, as you say, I love lots of really sad songs. I've written sad songs. I've been sad, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. But I think it could be disingenuous for me to portray
What's easy?
Yeah, to just kind of be, oh, listen here, oh, this is a really sad thing, this is this or that. I think hopefully what I'm doing musically is a big reflection of who I am and where I'm at. So I think like the music that I'm doing now is sort of a distillation of like the last 5 years of my life, really. And a lot of that is kind of shared experience because we've all been through a lot of the same things in those years. So I think the songs have like an emotional pulse that hopefully is gonna touch and relate to where you're at in your life. I think they're quite universal in that way. But potentially with some like vagaries in the lyrics, where you're like, oh, what, I don't know exactly what this song's about, but it's making me feel something.
I got the vibe. The vibes are good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty vibe based. I would probably.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tommy Cullen, vibe-based musician.
Yeah, vibe merchant.
That's so good. Well, let's get out of vagaries because I want to talk about this, which y'all should be real jealous that I got one of these. So this is your new EP, is it?
It's an album. Yeah. First ever album. Yeah.
It's so exciting. It's so beautiful. Did you do the artwork for it?
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. Can you let's show the audience. I'll take a picture. I'll show it up on YouTube for all my YouTubers. But let's talk about the image here.
Yeah. So it's a sort of,
you have to be real descriptive for my audio people.
Yeah.
too.
So what we have here is
a blue jellyfish UFO.
Yeah. So it's intended to be a cross between an octopus and a UFO.
Wow.
Because there's a song on the album called Octopus that's also about UFOs. That's
so dope.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. And then there's a guy.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, fair. But first of all, I love octopus. I'm very into the octopus discourse right now. I don't know if you've seen that child with the octopus that they've just had. I'll talk to you. That's for after hours. There's an octopus. They got an octopus. They didn't know they didn't really know what they were doing. The octopus had babies. They thought the babies weren't going to make it. The babies are making it, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with like 80, 100 octopus.
Whoa.
We'll talk about it.
Cool.
Anyway, so let's talk. I want to let you. What's your top 3 tracks here? Because we don't have time to go through all of them.
My favorites, okay, probably Octopus, Float Me, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll pick one that's out as a single.
You don't have to pick. They're all your children. Maybe that was a mean question.
No, it's okay. Let's say Home.
Home. Yeah. And why?
Why?
Yeah.
For each one, I think they're all. So I think I'm starting to think that my favorite songs of mine are ones where I've most clearly preserved the initial idea, the first like impulse or the first like spark. I think the less I can think and do on the way from following that initial thing through to a finished song, I'm starting to think the better they end up being. So I think those 3 songs are very like direct in that sense, and I'm quite happy with how I've realized them as a finished
It's such a hard thing to do as a musician, is like have the idea and know exactly how much of that you need to hold on to. And like I respect that so much, in the idea of like just maintaining that original idea, to like that authentic feeling, that authentic space as much as you can throughout that journey. And
to do less sometimes, because it's a big, I guess, challenge of producing records. I'm often inclined to put a lot of stuff in a track and just layer up a lot of parts, and then it's just a lot of work for my mix engineer, who's called Marcus J. He's my cousin.
Shout out to Marcus.
Yeah, one love. But yeah, it's like, I think, a process of whittling down a lot of that and thinking about it. Those 3 tracks have a simplicity to how they're arranged, at least in parts, and then there's some crazy parts. especially an octopus.
You're like really like you're selling this to me. Like we're vibe based. There's like you never know what you're gonna expect.
I'm glad because I kind of feel like I haven't said anything.
You're doing great. Don't you worry.
Oh, cool.
We're having a great time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, me too.
So I've never made an album. I know, like, whoa, what the heck? Yeah. So talk to me about the arrangement of the tracks. Like, what's the journey like through the album?
Honestly, to me, I kind of envisaged it and structured it. Yeah, I envisaged it. Yeah, as kind of a journey through. It's going from a slightly more negative or confused and worried space through to a more happy and open and communicative space. Even early on in the album, track 3 is called B Movie. It's probably the most kind of angsty, or
it's B movie like B-roll, not B movie.
Not like Jerry Seinfeld's B movie. Yeah, B like not an A movie, but a B.
It's the whole script of the B movie. Just
yeah. It's. Have you ever seen any of those videos? That's one of those ones that people really memed a lot, like the B movie. They, those videos where they're like B movie, but every time they say the word B, it double speed.
It's double speed. Like, yes,
I've seen yeah, that kind
of stuff. Love that. Oh, sorry, I cut you off on what was probably going to be a really, really insightful thing.
No, it's good. So that's like probably the most angsty or like, abrasive song on it, and it's kind of a toxic masculinity thing, I guess, and it's about kind of a refusal to communicate to some level. I have a guest vocalist on it called Yasmin Hendricks, who sings the hook, which is like talk to me, and everything that I say is a bit more, head down, being mad about stuff or whatever. So then I wanted to kind of take it through on a journey of just opening up and communicating to people, so that by the time you get to like the final track, which is called Float Me, it's really just a song about kind of reaching out and helping each other all get along, or like I mean get on with life. The lyric is, there's not many lyrics to that song. Float me, I am a newborn, my head weighs me down, I don't have the words to tell you how. Float me, I am an old man, my eyes cannot see. I can't make you understand, float me. Then there's a couple of other lines, but that's sort of the general. And I love
idea. That, like that imagery, because I always picture like this maybe could be so far off what you're trying to say, but like, have you ever seen that like video of it's a gentleman and he has an elderly dog, and the dog has like arthritis and he's just floating him in the lake.
Oh, I've never
because
seen that.
It helps ease the pain on his joints.
Oh, okay.
So I always think it's like, and you see it with like, with children, and when they swim for the first time, they're floating and they fall asleep, or there's something so soothing about this idea of like being weightless and kind of not having to rely on your body so much, being able to be supported by something that you don't have to like answer to. And I think that's really beautiful. I love that.
That's beautiful to hear. Like I would say I can say kind of definitively, float me is not one of those lyrics where I really specifically went, this means exactly this thing. So it's certainly, I mean, I never like to think in that way anyway, really, because I love hearing what other people think, and it's all subjective. But like honestly, that is like almost a purely vibe based lyric. And you've like,
and I'm vibing with it.
You've completely kind of nailed it there as far as I'm concerned.
Well, thank you so much. I'll be blasting this later on. I'm
cheers.
So excited. That's such another guys. Come on, what, like, it's a UFO octopus. What do I have to say? It's the music, whatever. UFO. So I'm so excited also for you, because you have a gig coming up in the Sound House.
Yeah. To release the new records.
Yes. So when is it officially released? Is it on the night of the?
No, so it'll actually be out a week before. It'll be on streaming on the 19th, and then the show in the Soundhouse is on the 26th.
Okay,
so
awesome. So maybe
Friday,
by
the
the time
26th of
this
April.
comes out, people can start listening and getting ready.
Yeah, and I mean there's 3 singles out from it now.
Sweet.
There'll be 4 singles out from it, in fact, probably by the time.
Amazing.
Anyway,
they can start vibing.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. So how are you feeling about? Is this the biggest show you've done?
Yeah, and even I haven't done much with a band as Tommy Cullen. I've only played. I have a band together for this show. We only played together once before. We've got a rehearsal later on. Oh, sorry, as in we played one show together a couple months ago, which I kind of approached as a warm up for this. Okay. So this will be the big event. And yeah, biggest show I've ever played. I guess depends how many people show up.
You'll be fine, I'm sure.
Although actually the week before I'm also going to be supporting Aslan in Galway.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What? You're so enigmatic, I think is the word, where you're just talking to me about your vibes and then
I've been called enigmatic
mom just was
before.
hanging with England and I'm working with Aslan. It's not even a big
I'm
deal.
gonna add to it. I'm gonna say I've been called enigmatic before, and the person that called me enigmatic was the first assistant director on a film that I acted in about 12 years ago.
Cool.
So just another bit of mystery there for you.
A little bit of mystery. Do we get to know
this guy
the
does
film?
it all. I was in one film when I was about 18. It was called Stitches. It's a horror comedy thing.
Cool. Okay.
It's got Ross Noble, the comedian, in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah. So I was crowned enigmatic on that.
Love it.
Set as well.
Let's get back to the gig promo.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. The Aslan show in Monroe's in Galway is on the 20th.
So
20th of April. So I'll be, I mean that'll probably be a bigger show in a way.
But this one will be more special because it's your show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to both. I love doing something like that. Is so cool because I don't have to organize everything.
That's true.
Whereas I'm still very much in getting everything sorted mode for the Soundhouse.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. It's the curses of independent artistry, isn't it? You have to organize everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So exciting. So, what are you gonna We'll go to promo time. It's time for plug time at the end of the episode.
Okay, cool.
What do you want to plug to our gorgeous, stunning, incredible, one of a kind audience?
Yeah, I mean, I would plug the new album, the launch gig on the 26th in the Soundhouse. The tickets are on sale from the soundhouse.ie. Is that there? I think that's their website. Yeah. And then, I mean, other than that, I've set up this thing for my mailing list, where you can if you like the tracks and, what you hear, you can take this sort of deep dive behind the scenes of the album. Cool. I send out, it's like, you get all the music from the album, you can stream it, download it, whatever. And then a load of bonus videos of us shooting the videos for the thing, behind the scenes stuff. I wrote, kind of little pieces about each song. I did an interview series with my co-producer who we talked about, Marcus J. And yeah, that's all there. It's all free at tommycullenmusic.com. So awesome. Yeah, that's probably the most direct route into the next level of my world, I guess.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
This has been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, cheers.
I can't wait to go see you at the show. And I can't wait to really delve into this album. It's gonna be great.
Nice one.
Thanks so much to Music Maker as always for letting us be here, and thank you so much for being who you are. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.